Apparently, there are a great number of children in the comments, just like myself, who can't stand not to play with toys, right? So I hinted about the adventure van lights in the last video, and a ton of you asked me, hey, we want to see those. Can you turn them on? You know, I've been thinking about getting those for my truck. I think that's a great idea. I've been wanting to do that. So we'll talk a little bit about what I bought, and then we'll hook up a battery here and we'll see how bright they were. So what I started with is now these, I got these from Armored Lighting. That's the name of their website. And I'm super impressed. It was hard to know about these lights because the prices on them are so varied when you check different sites, and quality-wise, I wasn't really sure what was going on with that, but I'm delighted. I'll show you up here close here how nice these things are really put together. But this right here is the light that's going to mount up on top above on the new aluminum safari rack. It's going to mount up there on top above the windshield, and this is the biggest, baddest LED off-road light that it's the biggest one that they sell, and it's pretty awesome. So it's a double row. It's not blue. You can see here, that's just a protective sticker on there. So that's just to keep it from getting scratched, but it is super, super heavy duty and really nice. It's curved, so it will get that throw, you know, so you're not just going forward, so you get that nice spread. So what we're going to do here is, it's really cool. The wiring harnesses are super skookum. Looks like all like factory, you know, automotive type of waterproof connectors and stainless steel stuff. So I'll show you the other ones that I got and how we're going to configure those. And then we'll hook up a battery here. I'll plug them in and see how bright they are. I mean, I just have no idea. Somebody in the comments mentioned that there's a problem with some of these being waterproof, and I hadn't heard that or seen that. And some of you recommended taking them apart and maybe siliconing the seals. I don't know. If you have any experience with that, let me know. I didn't see that in any of the reviews on the lights. Maybe there are some lower quality ones out there that suffer from that, but it's too soon to tell. I don't know. All right, so for the other ones, I got the big driving light, and then I got 4 of these guys. Now these are the armored floodlights. Just look at the detail. I mean, they're heavy. They're super heavy. It looks like they're all aluminum. Look at the fins on them. I mean, they're nicely put together. Stainless steel hardware, and it's got the Allen screws on there, so you can kind of adjust it where you want it with nice brackets and then clamp that down. But look at the plugs. The plugs are super nice. So what I'm thinking, and I don't know for sure, let me know what you think about this, is I got 4 of these guys. They come in pairs. So what I thought we might do is to, since these are floods, they're going to throw a real wide diffuse light, maybe 2 in the back, and if we could like maybe even tie them into the, I don't know if I want to tie them into the backup lights. It's probably put too much draw on the electrical system of the factories. We'll probably just put them on their own switches. So maybe 2 on the back that will mount up on the rack. I'll roll in a picture right here so you can see that rack, what it's going to look like. It'll be pretty much a carbon copy of this for the van. So we'll put 2 on the back, and then I'm going to put an awning on the driver's side. So we need to figure, do we want to put 2 on maybe 1 on each side? I don't really know. Let me know in the comments if you've done this before and what you've found work. Do you need 360 lighting? I mean, the front one's going to throw a massive beam up front, but I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So let me grab a battery and the battery charger here, and let's plug these in. I'll show you the harnesses really quick and the switches. We'll plug them in and see how ridiculously bright I'm expecting that thing to be. I want you to see this harness too. This is very, very slick and nicely done. I'm impressed. I really am. I mean, my expectations were not super high. I mean, these are not that expensive. Funny thing about it is the folks that are making a rack down in California, they had a light option that looked very similar to this, and they were showing like the upgrades on the rack you can add, and they were asking like $1,600, some ridiculous price for the light. I'm like, ooh, I'm not spending that. And I looked around, and these are more like in the $300 and $400 range. So are they the same light? I don't know. They sure look similar. All right, look at the plugs. Waterproof exterior, nice automotive plugs. This is the harness, and what's kind of cool about it is, it's all ready to go. It's basically plug and play. Looks like we've got a relay right there. Yeah, that looks like a relay. It's even got the switch, illuminated switch. So the only thing you have to do if you want to hook these guys up, let's say you're going to throw it on the front of of your truck or something is drill 2 holes for these nice heavy, these are aluminum, all powder coated, the brackets that will fit right there. And then all you've got to do is hook these leads up to your battery. It's already got the inline fuse. I mean, it's super slick. Look at the switch. Really nice switch. You could drill a hole for the switch. You could hook these guys up. It's got, looks like plenty of harness. And this just plugs in and you're ready to go. So, okay, I've got it hooked up here temporarily on the battery. So this is the light that's going to mount. Obviously, it's going to mount up on the front there. Let's turn it on and see what we got. Oh my goodness, that is bright. This is, the sun's out. It's, what time is it? 1:30. I can't even look at it, it's so bright. My goodness, that's bright. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't even look like towards it. I had to move the camera off at an angle because it was blowing out the sensor. I can't even look like beyond like 90 degrees toward it. So it's so bright. What's cool is how the spread is. I can just see it from here on the shop wall. What I'll have to do, I'll leave this hooked up, and then when it gets dark, I'll shoot another video. Maybe I'll throw it up on Instagram or something, or attach it to tomorrow's video. We'll take a look at this thing at night and see what the throw is. But I can tell you right here, I mean, my eyes are still burning, and I just glanced at it. I didn't even look directly at it. You couldn't. It's so bright. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be really great. Where we have such a problem with deer up here. Let me come closer. All right. We have such a problem with deer. I think a lot of places do in the country. This just because folks are not hunting as often, I think, as much as they used to. And the deer population up here it's getting to be a problem because there's so many people that are having problems running into them with their cars. And I mean, it's dangerous. It's almost not a matter of when, or if, but when. The guys that live up here, the old timers, the veterans live up here. If you look on their trucks, they've all got these huge steel fabricated brush guards, because you take a deer through the front grille with these new vehicles, and I mean, it's not hard to rack up $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 of damage. And when you start talking about, I mean, new car stuff's expensive, intercoolers and all that stuff. So having this light is going to be nice, and that's why I chose the one that had the bend in it to really get that light off to the sides, so I can see them ahead of time. I'll see their eyes glowing. I can slow down and know and take precautions. So that in itself, for a light that's under $400 or so, is really cheap insurance for that sort of thing. It's not perfect, but it will definitely help, because the factory lights on these things they're not great. They're not great. So this will do it. So let's plug in plug in 2 of the spots and see how they look compared to the big one. So this is exciting. This is gonna. I can't wait to show you guys that rack. That what we're finding is that with all of the gear and the camping stuff that we once we get it inside, we just don't have room for us to even live in there. So having getting all that stuff, surfboards and kiteboard stuff and dirt bike gear up there on the rack, up in the boxes, and get it out of the cab is going to be, I mean, it's just almost necessary. So I've got the floods hooked up. I cannot tell you how ridiculously bright these things are. I mean, I can't even look at them. And these are the floods. Wow, man, it's just amazing what light technology. Look at that. I mean, you can't tell here, but I'll tell you what, that is wicked bright, and a nice big throw too. That is just going to light up a tremendous area. It's kind of gnarly, when we're camping, we're all oftentimes we're in we're coming into places at night because we'll leave on the weekends and going to new places, and jockeying around in the van and backing up at night, trying to find campsites. It's terrible, because with the dirt bikes on or anything on the back, it completely destroys any backup lights, which are anemic at best. So to have 2 up, shining down to be able to see from the mirrors and the backup camera, man, that's wonderful. Those are awesome. Those are awesome right there. Man, they are bright. I'll tell you a funny story. So I had, back when I went to high school, they actually had really good shop classes. We had a metal shop, wood shop, and all that stuff. Actually, we had a foundry. We actually did foundry work in high school and learned how to use lathes and all that stuff, how to do machining and milling. I mean, it was great. It was funny because I went back like 10 years later, And all of the shops, they'd gotten rid of them and scrapped them. They said, no, it's, you know, it's the future. Kids don't need to have these skills anymore. And now we're rethinking that, aren't we? So, so we had a metal shop teacher. His name was Wesley Arthur Ramsey. His initials were W-A-R. So he was in the Navy. He was a Navy guy. He was the funniest guy. He wasn't a real tough guy, but he was really funny and sarcastic. He was telling us a story when he was on the ship in the Navy, and there was some dude that they did not like each other. They were not getting along, and they were going to have a fight. You know, they were kind of talking about it, and they had intermediaries going back and forth, and where it was going to be, and they're trying to find a place, you know, down below decks where they wouldn't get in trouble. And Wes, our teacher, said, you know, I'd never been in a fight before. I was a little bit concerned, and so I thought maybe I should start getting myself in shape, you know. It was funny when you think of him fighting. So he had on his initials on his uniform at that time, he said he had W-A-R, you know, war. That's pretty good initials for a soldier. And so he thought, well, I better get myself fit. So he was down there in the basement, and he had his jacket on with his initials, and he'd found a piece of pipe, and, you know, he was doing some curls and doing some pull-ups, you know, and hoping to get himself, you know, a little muscle tone there before this big fight came up. And it so intimidated the dude because his friends went down there to kind of spy on old Wesley to see what was going on, and they saw him down there lifting those heavy pipes, and they saw those initials on his jacket, stood, you know, W-A-R, and actually it so intimidated him they went back and talked their buddy out of getting into it with, you don't want to go fight war, you know. But the point, I guess, why am I telling you this? What about the lights? I remember now. So I had a 77 Bronco. 77 Ford Bronco. It was the last year of the best ones they ever made with a 302 in it. And I wanted to mount, I'd built this brush guard deal, and I wanted to mount those, remember those great big KC lights, you know, the halogens with the yellow smiley face covers on them? I'd bought 4 of those lights, and I wanted to weld a tab onto the existing brush guard to put those things on. And I couldn't weld it myself because it was the thicknesses of the metal. The brush guard was super thin, and the tab that I have was too thick. So Wes, our instructor, he welded it for me because it took someone with some skill. But we were talking about that, and he's like, "What are you going to do with these lights?" And I said, "I'm gonna put them on the front of my Bronco, and I'm gonna hook them up to the dimmer switch. You know, back then the dimmer switch for the headlights, it wasn't on the stock; it was on the foot." On those old Fords, and you'd click on it, and then the high beams would come on. And I thought it'd always be super cool to hook that up to that dimmer switch, and man, I'd hit that thing, and those 4 KC lights would come on, and I'd be like the king of the road. Well, I immediately found out that as soon as I hooked them up, they burn out the switch. So then I learned about relays. So I put in a relay and hooked it all up and got it going. And I was telling Wesley about that, and he got really upset with that. He's like, "You can't do that." I said, "I can do whatever I want to it. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm 17 and belligerent, and I don't know anything." He's like, "I'll tell you what. If I see you on the road and you turn those lights on me and bright me with those things, I'm just going to veer right into you and just head on you." So I'll never forget that. So that was my Wes Arthur Ramsey story, one of my greatest teachers. But yeah, that's a diverging a little bit from the video, but these are good. These are cool. So I'll do a video when we install everything. I'll do another update. We could turn them on at night. I'll leave these things hooked up, but they're good. So I'll put if you want a link to that website, I'll put it in there. I'll put it down in the description setting. You know, I might contact him. I'll contact those guys. I spoke with them on the phone and see maybe they can do a discount code or something for you guys. So if you want to order, wait, let me know in the comments if you want to order some lights. I'll send them an email, and who knows, we can always ask. You know, maybe they'll give us 10-15% off for subscribers, so can't hurt to ask. All right, thanks for watching, and don't forget to click the thumbs up. We'll see you guys on the next video.